Hello, welcome back to my channel. Do you have an old calendar like this one I have here? I hope so, because today I'm going to show you how to make these simple yet beautiful notebooks out of calendar pages to make the covers and use all of your coffee dye papers to put inside. Let's get started. So I have this beautiful calendar from last year. This is the Nikon Small World. It's a scientific photography competition of sorts. You can submit your images. They have to be images taken with a microscope. So I get this at work, and this is actually my calendar from last year. If you're interested, you can follow Nikon Small World. That's are the socials. So this calendar has full page images. I'll show you like this. Oh, this is beautiful. This could work, but I messed it up. I had this calendar taped on my wall, and so when I took it off, I ripped the page. So this is, as I said, this is my actual calendar, so there's stuff written in there. These are neurons, very pretty. Look at this, it's beautiful. Ah, okay, so I'm gonna pick two pages from here. I think I like this one and this one. Let's do it colorful. Okay, so why we want two? Because we're gonna glue these two together to make our cover. And I'm gonna show you the prototype I made, which is this one. So I took two images from that same calendar. This is actually a caffeine crystal, and I thought that it would look so nice to have some caffeine in here with coffee dyed paper inside. So the idea is that we're gonna make a cover like this. I made some pockets in this one. I learned a few things while making this one. One is that I messed up the sewing. My sewing machine went crazy. I don't think I'm gonna sew this one because I haven't fixed it. So I want this to look very clean and nice, but look, this doesn't look like that. It's a mess. The thread kept cutting, and no. So I don't think I'm gonna sew it, although I love how the sewing looks like. But the other thing I learned is the size. I really like this size, but in the end I didn't find it to be convenient because I had to trim very small strip of the pages, and it was a pain. So I want to keep it as a size that I don't have to trim my pages. So I have my inch side of my mat. So I'm going to talk in inches today, which is not the norm for me. I usually just use centimeters. But because I know the measurements of the paper in inches, I'm going to do everything in inches. So this one is 8 inches tall. So I had to cut half an inch, and I had to cut like a quarter of an inch off. I don't know. I just hated it because it was such a small piece of paper that I had to cut. So I have a regular standard copy paper, which in the US is 8.5 by 11, I believe. Let's measure it. Well, this is not 8.5. It's a little bit shorter. Yeah, it's not 8.5. Okay, so that's interesting, but I'm gonna make it this size, whatever size this is. And it's 11 length. So I'm gonna just fold this page. This is a coffee dyed paper with my favorite stencil. So we're gonna aim to make our cover 8.5 like this in length, so that the page is gonna be a little bit shorter, but that's okay. and we're gonna make it to be 5.5. I don't care if we have some paper off. If I can make it to be 5 3/4, that would be ideal. So why I'm worrying about that? It's because my paper has those holes. You know, the calendar came with these holes. Then I made new holes. Then I tape it. So I have to trim it. And then we have the fringe on the other side. So I have to trim it in a way that it's gonna make sense for the size of my cover. So I want my paper to be 8.5 tall, or whatever this would be width, right? So 8.5 width and 11, or maybe a little bit more than 11 tall. So let's see if we can make it. So I'm gonna start with one first, and I need to trim the fringe. I don't have any paper trimmer that is big enough to use this whole page, so I'm gonna use my ruler and my craft knife. But if you have a guillotine or whatever works best for you, just use whatever works best for you. That's what I'm trying to say. Sorry guys, I haven't made like a talk through video in so long. Okay, so I'm actually gonna cut this way first. So it is 13. Okay, I decided that I'm gonna trim 3/4 of an inch off each side, because I want it to be 11.5 instead of just 11. Okay, I'm saving all of these strips. Oh, okay. Ignore everything I said. I cut 1 inch off one side and 3/4 of an inch off on the other side. I even counted and I did wrong. Okay, but it's 11.5, so we're good. I wanted it to be over 11. The only thing is now that that main cell is gonna be off center, but I'm gonna make this the front. Ooh, it's gonna look so nice. Okay, so now I'm gonna cut this spiral fringe, and I'm gonna cut it at 9 inches here. Okay, so I cut this to 8 1/4. It's not ideal because now my paper is taller. So I'm gonna have to still cut a little bit off this, which is is what I wanted to avoid. I'm gonna have to cut 1/2 inch off of this. I think that's what I'm gonna do, or 1/4 of an inch. Okay, so I have this now that measures 11.5 by 8.5. Okay, so I'm gonna do the same with this off camera and I'll be back. Okay, so I have my two papers now cut to size, hoping that they are even. Obviously there is something like this one, it's not even there, but I'm gonna ignore it for now because I am going to put some corners. Yeah, but it's pretty much even. So now I'm going to determine what's gonna be my front and my back. So I think this is gonna be my front, this part. Let me see. Yeah. Okay. So I like this orientation, and now what I'm gonna do is to glue these two pieces together. I'm gonna start applying glue stick all over, a lot of it, because we want to glue every corner of it, every edge, and especially because this one I'm not gonna sew it. So we just add all the glue stick you can add. I'm gonna use glue stick and art glitter glue. So I'm adding a lot, especially on the edges and the corners. So now you can use any wet glue. I'm just going to use my art glitter glue. Hopefully it's not going to give me any problems. So, and with this one, I'm going to go very close to the edges as well. I want all of those edges very well glued. And I'm using art glitter glue. I could use PVA glue school glue and just brush it over. I think that would work well. But these surfaces are glossy, so I want something that it's really gonna stick it together. Okay, so a lot of it. So I'm gonna kind of smear those. So, and with this, you kind of have to be fast because art glitter glue dries very fast, and my glue stick also dries very fast, which I'm not complaining. I like those properties of my glues, but for things like this, sometimes you need more room for mistake. Okay, so I'm gonna grab my HelloFresh card. This is not sponsored, but HelloFresh, you can sponsor me if you want. Just to press, and press. And now I'm using my hands just to help these two surfaces to adhere very well. We want this to be like a single paper. Okay, we want this to behave like a piece of double-sided paper. And I see that even if I put the paper underneath, I still got some glue on this paper that got transferred here, but we can clean it afterwards. Probably moving my camera a lot by doing this, but after you squish it, you press it, you push it. I'm going to put something heavy on top. So I have this book, and that's gonna help it just stay together. I'm actually gonna move it out of here, and we're going to let it dry for a bit. So while the cover is drying, I'm going to select a few of my coffee dyed papers that I want to use. I think I want to use the one that I'm using as a guide. So here we have one. I want to have 10 sheets of paper on this notebook because this is not a journal, this is a notebook. So I want 10, which is gonna make it 40 pages in total. Let's see which one I want to use. Ooh, let's use this one that we did together in my coffee dyeing video, my layered coffee dye video. I'm gonna link it down below for you to see how I made these. Okay, so now I'm gonna start folding the pages like this. Okay. It's interesting how much thicker and harder the paper feels after you coffee dye it. I've always found that very interesting. I'm sure there is a reason for it. But it's not as easy to fold as if it were just regular paper. Oh, look at how beautiful this is. This has some yellow. So when I dyed this one, I also did it with that layer dyeing technique. But instead of using very bright paper. I used like a yellow pastel, and I don't know if you can tell, the flowers have a yellowish tint. So it's very interesting. This one also looks great. Honestly, the more I look at this paper, the more I want to dye more paper. So beautiful. For this one, I put a doily on top of the paper, a paper doily. It didn't leave a great impression as I thought it would, but you can still kind of see it. Looks like it had some lace. I'll show you in a second. I don't know if you can see like the lace pattern there. I'm just using a variety of coffee dyed papers because I don't want every page to look the same. But if you decide to do this project, you can use whatever you want. Okay, and here's the other one, and then the other that it's more fainter. Ooh. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm gonna trim them by one by one because I can't get them even, and I think they're not the same height. So what we decided? So the cover is gonna be 8 1/4 tall. So I'm gonna trim them to be 8 inches. Yeah, so this is a little bit more than 8 1/4, and I think 8 inches is fine. Yeah, because I want them to have like a little bit of a border once I bind them. So I'm gonna cut them all. I'm gonna do one by one because I've noticed that I have a lot of trouble when I just pile them together. So I'm gonna cut to 8 1/4. No, 8. Okay, I'm back because I messed it up. I moved it. So you know what? You go home. I'm gonna use this. Okay, I moved my page. I'm gonna use this one that I decided not to use. We're gonna use it now. Okay, so normally I would make a template and then I would put all my pages together and trim them together, but all of these papers seem to have different sizes, and that's gonna see this is 8 1/2, and that's gonna drive me crazy. So I'm just gonna trim them all to 8 inches without moving my ruler, like that. Okay, so I'm done. I'm saving all these strips because when I'm done, because when I fix my sewing machine, I'm gonna make ruffles, paper ruffles. So here I have, they look really nice. So let's start putting them together. Let's see, I think I want to start with, not that one, with this one. And then we can do like a more clear one. Then perhaps colorful one, lace one, then this beautiful one, another more clear one, the yellow one. Let's see, maybe now this one, the tea dyed one, and this is gonna be the last one. Oh, this is beautiful. Look at this. Huh. So now that when you put all of your pages together like this, they're not gonna be the same width, because of this. Can you see that? So they're not gonna be fully attached together. I don't know what's the word that I want to use, but I don't mind. I don't mind if this is not even. I don't want to trim all those little strips. So this is how our signature's looking like. I could iron this, but I kind of like all of those wavy things. But we need to go back to work on our covers. So while I do this, I'm gonna put all this whole signature under my big book, and I'll grab the cover. Okay, so here's the cover. I think it's fully dried. I can see here how they didn't line up perfectly. And here we can hide all of that by inking, or if I want to be super perfectionist, which I don't enjoy being because then I hate it, I could attempt to trim it. And I think that's what I want to do, at least with this size, with this side. So let's see if it's over my 11.5 that I want this to be. Yeah, the bottom is over a tiny bit. It's just a very tiny bit. Just want to make sure that this is even here. I think I need a guillotine, but I'm not buying anything this year, I guess. Not for a long time. But maybe the next thing I'll buy when I decide to start buying things again will be a big guillotine. I would love to have a big guillotine. I just don't have the space right now for it. Because although I really like working with the knife, this is what I got. Maybe the guillotine wouldn't be good for this. Was it necessary that I did this? No, but I did it. And it's still white. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Okay, so now the important part is that we're going to fold it. I think I have, oh, sorry. I have my microphone on my sweater and I keep touching it with my chin. I don't know how the sound of this video is gonna be. I'm sorry if it's bad. Try to fix it. Okay, oh, so the bottom also has that. Let's see, what did we want for the bottom part? We wanted this to be, yeah, no, that's, we're just gonna ink it. Okay, so now we're gonna fold it to create our cover. So just trying to match those corners as much as you can. Now, if your calendar doesn't have full pages like mine, like full images like these ones, you can always do like smaller notebooks or make journaling cards. These images can be very abstract for this microscopy calendar that if I'm not using them for a cover, I don't think I could use them for like journaling cards and stuff. I don't know. Okay, so I'm pushing down, and here a few things are gonna happen. You may not have a perfect folded page that meets the two ends because although I put a lot of glue, there is still some air between the two pieces. So when I fold it, I can feel that space moving inside the two pieces of paper. The other thing is that your spine is going to crack. I don't know if you see it. And this is normal because this is very thick and it is a glossy paper, and we're basically breaking the ink and everything in there. But we can solve that problem. Okay, so I have a wet paper towel and I'm going to clean the glue that I have here. Okay, that's good, that's good. Now with my rag. But I can tell you this is very glossy paper. This will get wet and nothing will happen to it. It's almost like photograph. Okay. It's beautiful. Unfortunately, so this is this is DNA. Those are the chromosomes in the cell. I'm gonna cover part of those chromosomes, unfortunately, because I'm gonna do this thing now. Because I don't want the if this were a junk journal, I wouldn't mind that cracking there, but because this I want a more polished look, although this is not very polished. I know, I know, I know. I'm gonna do this extra step to protect my spine and that we don't see that cracking in there. So I'm going to use this gray cardstock because I don't have other color. Although I may have other color. Okay, I have this blue. Would the blue look better? Maybe, although I don't like it. It's not as thick. I think black would look better, but I don't have black cardstock. I like this, the gray. It looks more polished. This is, it's not the same weight, and the color, I can see some white. It's not a deep blue. I don't like it. This is better quality cardstock. So that's what I'm going to use. So I'm gonna cut, let's see, I want this to be wider than this one. So this is, oh, I think I cut this in centimeters. So I did a 3 centimeter thing. Okay, I'm gonna cut 4 centimeters, which is gonna be about what? 4 centimeters is about it's less than 2 inches. 4 centimeters is like 1.5 inches, a little bit more, but that's what I'm going to trim. And I'm doing centimeters here because my paper trimmer has lines for the centimeters, but not for the inches. And then this is 8 3/4. So I'm gonna, no, 8 1/4. Yeah, it's a little bit less than 8 1/4. So I'm gonna cut it to 8 1/4 using my mat. There we go. So this is gonna go here. I'm going to score this actually because I need to score it at, wait, at 2 centimeters, right? But I don't have, I'm just gonna mark that. What is 2 centimeters in inch world? I don't know. Okay, so I made 2 marks with my pencil for my 2 centimeters where I want to score because I don't have a scoreboard. I didn't score the other one, but I had a hard time folding it. So again, so how do I score? My mat, I use my cutting mat, and I use my plastic knife and a ruler. And I have a score line now, which doesn't look perfect. If you want perfection, you came to the wrong channel. If you're new here, maybe you don't know, in real life, I'm a scientist. This is my fun, relaxing space where I don't have to be precise in everything I do, because at my job I have to be precise in everything I do, measure everything correctly, blah, 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 blah. This is chaos. I need chaos in my life. Okay, so now we have this. I'm sure this has a name. What is the name of these things? Oh, it's perfect. Perfect, perfect. So I'm going to use my lovely art glitter glue, which I'm in need of buying more. So I'm just gonna, oh no, I put glue in my mat. I'm just gonna put some around here, making sure all the edges are very well glued, because again, I'm not sewing this. Oh my god, I'm a mess, I tell you. Okay, so I'm putting this against my cover like this, lining up my score line with my spine and making sure this is very well lined. It is. And I'm gonna press like this. I forgot to ink. I wanted to ink the edges, but that's okay. So then I add more glue there. Oh no. Cleaning my fingers. Ooh, it looks nice. It actually looks really nice. I like it. I really like it. There is slight problem here. Well, it's not very well glued, but I have like a tiny, tiny, tiny piece of extra cardstock on the top. And I shouldn't try to cut it because I'm gonna mess it up, because I don't know how to cut with scissors. Okay, but that's it. This, it was bothering me. I just told you that this is my place for relaxing when things don't have to be perfect, blah, 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 blah. But I still try to do it correctly. Okay, so I'm gonna let this dry, and now in the meantime, we're gonna work on the book name, book plate, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so perfect. This is a little bit bigger, but not that bigger. Whew. I'm so happy. I think I'm gonna use all of this calendar page to keep making not journals, notebooks, and I'll use them at work. Why not? Okay, so I want to do the same thing I did here. So I need leftovers. Yeah, this is fine. Leftover cardstock of the same color, just to kind of color coordinate everything. And I cut that at what? It's like 3 centimeters. So let's do that. And we're gonna make like a frame thing there. So I'm actually gonna put this under the book while it's drying. This is gonna be the bottom of the base. I'm sure you cannot see anything gray on gray there. and I have this that came from here. This is also a coffee dyed notebook page that I just need to trim a little bit Oh wait, I need to do this first. Okay, so we're keeping the height or the width, not the height. That's the height. So we need a tiny bit. This is 2.5. What length is this? 6. So I need 5.5. I'm gonna cut it to 5.5. Yes, perfect. And now this one can be, well, I'm gonna stamp notes first, and then I decide how I'm gonna cut it. Okay. So I'm using archival ink in black to just stamp the word notes. And I'm gonna stamp it in between the two lines. Okay. So that, okay, so this is 5.5 centimeters. So we can do this either 5 or 4.5. Let's try to do 5 first and see how that goes. So there. Okay, so it's gonna be like 4.5, and I need to trim that part. Okay, I think this should be fine. Oh yes, oh yes, 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 yes. Okay, so now I'm gonna use my corner rounded, and did I use the bigger one? I think I used the bigger one for the outside one. So the bigger one is 10 millimeters. I probably used the 7, but it doesn't matter. I'll use the 7 for the next one. And I'm going to use the 4 millimeters for the smaller one. Okay, that one kind of got messed up. So I'm going to ink with black because the background of this is black, and I think that's gonna make it look more interesting. I still have some brown here because I'm using the same dauber, but I'm just gonna ink in black. Ooh, ooh, ooh. And now we just glue one on top of each other. And let's see how that works. Okay, there we have it. Looks nice. Oh, look at that. It looks beautiful. We're gonna just glue it right there where it is. Yay! I could have done it a little bit lower, but I think it looks really nice in there. I like how the layering makes it look more interesting. Oh, I didn't realize that here I actually used the color from the inside. Huh. But I like how it looks like this. And this one. Okay. So the next step is to make some pockets. But so I've been recording for like an hour and I'm so tired. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. So let's do this. I'm going to continue later or tomorrow. I'm gonna leave this under the book and I'm gonna do this actually, like, because you saw how it was lifting. So I'm just kind of rolling it the other side, but not fully rolling it. I should have probably waited until that was fully dried. And so I'm gonna put this under the book again. This book, so I have my signature in there, and now I'm gonna put this there. Well, I'm gonna put it here. I forgot that I had this black cardstock that it was all rolled up, and I had in this book. I could have used that. That would look nice, but I like the gray. So this is not gonna be a 2-part videos. I'm just gonna do it in 2 parts for myself. I'll be back, guys. Okay, so let's make the pockets. This is a lot flatter now. It's been under the book for, I don't know, over an hour, I guess. So for the pockets, I'm going to use the leftovers of this cardstock. I guess this is the correct, no. So I need to remind myself. So this is 5 3/4, 5.5. I'm gonna cut it at 5.5. Let's see if that's enough. And then this one, let's see how tall. I like this height that I did here. Okay, so it's 6 centimeters. But let me see if this width is the correct width. Oh yeah, that's perfect, actually. Yeah, so 6 centimeters. I'll use this one to cut the centimeters. 1 and 2. And I want to make them the same as I made them here. I used that corner punch here instead of doing a thumb notch that I normally do. I just want to do something different. And let's round the bottom corners. I'm using the smaller size here. These are very cute pockets. You can now further decorate this. I was thinking to doing some stenciling or putting some stickers, but I actually like that they are plain because this is very busy. So we don't want to put more busyness. So I am gonna use black again to ink all the edges. Perfect. And so now let's glue this. And to make sure, yeah, now it's well glued. Oh, this is so beautiful, isn't it? It's very beautiful. Okay, so pocket, we do 3 sides for a pocket. And now the other one. I want this a little bit higher. There. Okay, perfect. So now if you want to sew, like I did here, that now it's the time to do so. I'm not gonna do it because my machine is not behaving and I need to figure out what's going on with it. So what I'm gonna do now is to ink all the edges again with my black ink, and this is gonna help to get rid of all those imperfections that I had with the folding and things not being the exact size. And you know, it's such a little amount of white that I'm seeing through, but when you add the ink, it just goes away. I don't know if you can tell. Like, I don't know if you can tell the difference, but I can see it. I think I need to change my sponge because it's leaving some residues. And I'm also going to ink the spine just to give it some more interest. Okay, so now I'll do from the inside to make sure all those, again, all those white little imperfections are gone. Okay, I want to show you the edges. You can barely see the imperfections now. Well, I kind of still see them, but you know, it's like, it's nothing. It's really nothing. Okay, so now we have only two things left, which is binding our signature and putting the book corners. And I'm trying to decide if I want to do the book corners before or after the signature. I'll probably do it after the signature. So let's talk about the signature. I think I'm gonna do it off camera because every time I've tried to bind journal on camera, it's a mess. So for this one, I did a 5-hole pamphlet stitch. I really like it because, I don't know, I think it makes it look more professional. Maybe not, maybe it's the same as the 3-hole pamphlet stitch, but I kind of want to do the same. So I have a template already made that I've used for a few of my journals. I guess I could use this template for either a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, which in that case I will use 1, 2, and 3, or for a 5. And this is an 8.5 page. So this is a little bit shorter than that. So I did fold this to make it the size of my other one. So maybe I'll do the same. Well, this makes it a little bit shorter. Just trying to decide, do I leave it? I'm just gonna fold that. Okay, so I'm gonna fold, although the cover is a little bit larger than the other one. Okay, so I'll show you how to use a template. So how I made this. So this is, you need a piece of paper that is the height of your cover or your pages. In this case, it's neither, but I'm trying to make it work because I don't want to make another template. And then you decide where you want to have the holes. Ideally, you want your holes to be kind of equally distanced, and to do that, I folded this paper many times to create all of those folds, and then I mark where my holes are, and I use that as a template. So I'm going to show you how I use this. So I put it in there, and I know which one is my top, so it's always my top because the holes might not be perfect. Then I'm going to secure it with a paper clip, one on each side, like that. In this case, I want to have kind of the same distance on top and at the bottom. Okay, so now I grab my awl and I just put my cover like this. I don't do it like this, I do it like in this way, and I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So then I remove the template and we do the same with the signature. But with the signature, I want to make sure that all the pages are straight at the bottom. So I'm gonna do this and then find the center. I'm gonna have to do that again. And put my fingers, my index finger there, my thumb on the back, my middle finger here, and then do tap, 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 tap. Sorry, I'm moving the camera. And then again, we're gonna do tap, tap, tap the other way so that everything is aligned. And I'm terrified to move it, so I'm gonna clip it right away because it already moved. Okay, again, tap, 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 tap. Okay, you need to figure out which one was my top. I think that's my top. I have some pages that are directional. Yeah, so this is my top. So I'm gonna put my top. This is what it says top there. And align this. This is the perfect size for this actually. Kind of, almost. And I'm gonna clip it again. You don't have to clip it. I'm just very clumsy. If I don't clip my papers, everything will move and fall apart. So you could, because this is only one signature, you could also do this like all at the same time. I've done that before. It works fine. Sometimes I'm afraid to do it, so I'm not doing it now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I'm going to remove my template. Always remove it, otherwise you're going to bind it. And I'm gonna put my awl with the in the middle hole. So I don't know if you noticed, but my awl has some thread because this is a very vintage. It's from the 60s. I bought it. It was new in the package, and it comes with thread because you're supposed to use it for sewing like canvas. So I'm gonna measure 3 lengths of my cover, and I don't know where my other scissors are, so I'm gonna use this ones, and that's what we're gonna use. Well, and I said that I wasn't gonna bind it on camera, but I'm already doing it. So I'm gonna show you the first stitch, and then I'll probably speed the process up. But with a 5-hole pamphlet stitch, you can actually start from any hole, like from the top, the bottom, or the center. And where you start from, it's where you end. So if you start from the bottom, your thread is gonna end at the bottom. If you start from the top, that's where your thread's gonna end. If you start from the middle, that's where you're gonna have your both threads together, and you're gonna have to knot it in the middle or top or bottom. So I'm gonna show you how to start. So I'm removing the awl, and I went through the middle, find the middle hole in my cover, and now here you can go either back or down. So I'm gonna do that. I'm going down, top or down, so I'm going down. Okay, so I'm going through this back, through the second hole, down. I actually need more thread from here. And now you go out again from this following hole. And now you go back in. You're always doing like an S motion. You're like doing the letter S as you are sewing your signature. So we're coming back in, and now I'm gonna skip the middle and I go to the next top of the middle, and we do the same thing. Out, in, out again on the next one, and now we go in through the middle hole. And so here you want to have your thread coming out on the opposite side, like the same as you do with your 3-hole pamphlet stitch. And that's it. I can't believe I did this on camera and it wasn't a total disaster. So I like to make sure that everything is tight. This is too loose here, so I'm going to make it tighter. Okay, that's good. I don't want it too tight, but also I don't want it too loose. Okay, and now we're gonna tie a knot. And another one. And why not a third one? I was gonna do like a square knot, but I decided not to. And we're gonna trim it. And there we have it, our notebook, almost complete. And this is what I like about the 5-hole pamphlet stitch. I don't know if you can see. I think the gray background kind of messes my camera up. Also, I'm losing natural light. And in the middle, it looks, where is the middle? Like this. Very pretty. Okay, so let's add book corners. Okay, let's pick some book corners. I think I want to use the silver again. It goes with the gray cardstock. I like to put glue on my book corners, even if they're metal. I don't know. I'm hoping it adds something. And now I got my pliers and I'm gonna press. I got these book corners from Amazon. Oh, it looks so elegant. I love it. The good thing about the book corners, have I been saying covers? I wanted to say corners. Is that they are also going to protect our gluing, since I didn't sew the cover or the pockets. I'm gonna keep everything tight and together. Okay, so I'm done with the corners. Look at that. It looks so beautiful and elegant. And you think, I'm gonna remove this. Let's remove it now. Ooh, I think it's much better. Let me see. Yeah, you can see the contrast much better. I have the impression that I bound this too tight. No, it's not that tight. Okay, we're gonna go through the pages to accommodate those pages. Okay, so our pockets are functional. Chun, 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 chun. Oh, look at this. I love that I'm starting with this beautiful coffee dye paper. Oh, let's move these things out of the way. Ooh. You obviously can do this with plain paper. I think it would look great. But I wanted to add something of interest. I'm touching all the pages because I love how they feel. And you know, it's very flat. So this is ideal for writing, for taking notes. That's my goal for this. And I'm using all of the coffee dye paper that I've been dyeing. So now I have an excuse to dye more paper. Okay, so I think this needs to be under the book a little bit longer because this is not a very hard cover and the pages don't want to behave. I want to show you this one was like this before, but I put it under the book and it's behaving. So I hope you enjoyed this video. And I hope you get inspired to make a notebook out of all calendar pages using those beautiful designs in the calendars. And you can make something special that you can give to someone. I think I'm probably going to gift this and keep this one for me because of all the mess with the sewing machine. If I fix my machine, I'm going to make another one where I'm gonna be sewing because I really like the sewing when it works. So yeah, thank you for watching and I'll see you again next time soon. Bye.